Honorable Leader of Government of Opposition Business.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, Madam President, on this incentives amendment, and I notice again the Leader of Government Business didn't volunteer much in terms of information in her presentation, and I suspect she would await in the rebuttal to provide the additional information that may be needed. I noticed, Madam President, the Leader of Government Business has consistently made a presentation in that manner. But, Madam President, the support in terms of fiscal incentives for businesses as outlined in the creative professional services, creative industries, information and communication technology, spa and wellness services, are critical areas of intervention for business people that could do with incentives, and that is welcome. This is very good. However, Madam President, a business environment, for business environment to facilitate growth and for persons to participate, it must be underpinned by certain, what I consider certain pillars. And I know a few of them, like sociocultural, competitive, technological, economic, political and regulatory, and natural. These areas, Madam President, is important for business to survive. We are looking at one area, and I think this may be the political and regulatory, but competitive. For business to survive and for persons to be able to invest in a market like ours, there must be competition, or it must be competitive. And I say this, Madam President, because of the environment of direct purchases that this government has embarked upon. When persons are not allowed to compete, to offer a price, and their price is actually weighed against another, when the government, because, Madam President, one of the areas of professional services, including here, I think, is integrated engineering services and engineering service. These areas, Madam President, the government is a major employer of such services. A major employer. There are not many opportunities apart from being employed by the government, either directly or indirectly, to provide such service. But if the government has remained with one set of professionals from the time it has taken office, and there are incentives here, what would prompt an engineering firm that is associated maybe with the St. Lucia Labour Party to decide to take advantage of the incentives to invest? And this is the essence, this is the ethos of such an amendment. It is to provide an environment where other persons and these areas can invest. So I'm stating, Madam President, it's all good and well to provide incentives. Say bon bagay. But we must ensure that our business environment is underpinned by those pillars I've mentioned. It must be underpinned by a principle, market principle we call competition. You offer a price, and that price is evaluated. On the basis of your price being evaluated, you are given an opportunity to serve. Direct purchase cannot become the norm. It must be the exception to the rule. And if, as somebody who is in that industry, if I observe that the government have taken on a relationship with one service provider, and I understand that when you look at the contribution of the construction industry to GDP, and you look at how government participates, government is a significant player in the construction industry in small island states, and account for almost, from what I noticed from the ECCB, pretty close to about 9 to 12%. Significant activity, maybe it's a little low now, but it is significant activities that's going on significant activities going on in the construction sector that is being led by the government as a major facilitator, as a major employer. And therefore, good incentives are there. The idea of having competition and having fair market operations is essential so that persons could make use of such incentives. I dare anybody at this point in time who is involved in construction not associated, you understand, not associated with, you understand, the UWP government or this administration to invest in a backhoe or an excavator at this point in time. You understand? And I'm saying, Madam President, these were some of the discussion held at one of the previous parliamentarians that we were part of, in terms of how do we facilitate and promote those environments to allow for small businesses to participate in a market economy. And I'm not in any way saying that there are some areas that government is not involved who would benefit sufficiently, like the spa. I see the spa and the 8 persons involved in those areas. It is not one of concern for me, but I'm particularly concerned about the areas where government is a major employer. So, fellow senators, very good initiative, but that should be taken into consideration to allow for fair competition and equal opportunity for those who have invested and would like to participate in the industry. Thank you very much.